Louisville Southern Police Institute, Northwestern University Senior Management Leadership Program. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree from Columbia College in Missouri. I have been a part of several local organizations here throughout my life. I'm on the board of directors of Nassau, which serves adults with developmental disabilities. Been on the board of Micah's Place, which helps those who have been a survivor of domestic violence. Board of directors of Northeast Florida Safety Council, past chairman and president of that organization. I'm chairman of the Nassau County Community Traffic Safety Team. I'm a past president of Fernandina Beach High School Quarterback Club, Football Boosters Association, and former commissioner of Potwater Football. I've been a law enforcement officer for 35 years. I've been a supervisor for 23 years in Auburn than anybody up here. I've got more education than anybody up here. And I've got more community involvement than anybody up here. And I think I've prepared myself well throughout my life for this position.
Thank you. Garland, same question. Yes. Yes. Garland, same question. You're going to rotate through. Then we'll start with the next question after you've all had a chance.
Well, I've owned my own construction company, and I compare it a lot with running the sheriff's office as far as the different levels that it takes to do and build a building. You have to organize, which is the same thing with the sheriff's office. You have to lead. You have to be able to know your position. And with working at the sheriff's office, I know every position there except for the sheriff's office, except for exactly what the sheriff does. With the experience and being able already in place to run the sheriff's office, it's a slow transition, and I wouldn't have to hire anybody outside the agency to come in and advise me on how to do it. It would just be a simple transition right into it.
My leadership skills, I have proven the schools that I've chosen to go to, my experience as a detective, the United States Army as a non-commissioned officer, the Florida Army National Guard as a non-commissioned officer. I have served my community, my country, and my state. My sons are in the military. We have proven that we are community-oriented. I'm a member of the Callahan Masonic Lodge and the Octopus Club. I am community-oriented. I ask that you look at me as someone who can lead the sheriff's office, and I thank you.
Well, obviously, every one of us feels like we're well qualified for this position, or we wouldn't be running for it. And I feel that everybody up here does have different qualifications. At the end of the day, whoever gets elected to this position, in January, when they get sworn in and they take the post of sheriff and they sit behind that desk, it's going to be a new vision for them. None of us have ever been a sheriff. None of us have ever been an undersheriff. It is going to be a new job for any of us. What's going to be most important is that you elect the guy that's going to work the hardest for you and who's going to have the most passion. And I can promise you, I cannot be outworked, and my heart is in this 100%.
All right, Bubba, we'll start with you on this next question. What does it mean to you to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and against whom or what are you defending it?
You're defending it against anyone who violates the Constitution. That includes from people already in place of government and people that are not in government, including the local citizens. And enforcement, as far as to everyone's held to the same accountability, no matter who you are, what crime you did. It should be equal all the way through. Not only should it be equal, you treat them equally all the way through. You don't show any type of favoritism or anything like that.
I have sworn to defend the Constitution, both in the military and as a law enforcement officer. To defend the Constitution is through, it says, against all intruders, both foreign and domestic. I will defend that Constitution. I have sworn it in the past. I will do it again. Thank you.
As a sheriff, you take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. And in that oath, you promise that you will defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You cannot differentiate who it is. As the sheriff of a county, you are the last line of defense for your citizens. You are the person that has to stand up and fight when the rest of the government fails us. Federal level and state level. They do not supersede the sovereignty of your sheriff, and it's very important that he understands that.
I agree with all that. And I took a note 35 years ago, and let me read you what I stood, raised my right hand, and said. I do solemnly swear I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States and of the state of Florida. I will always conduct myself soberly, honorably, and honestly. I will remain strict, punctual, and constant attention to my duties. I will abstain from all offensive personality or conduct unbecoming a police officer. I will perform my duties fearlessly, impartially, and with all due courtesy. And I will well and faithfully perform the duties of a law enforcement officer on which I am about to enter, so help me God. And as your sheriff, I will continue to abide by this oath. So thank you.
Thank you. And I guess now we start with Mr. Whitley. All right. As a sheriff candidate, do you have a well-thought-out plan to implement that A, comprises actual steps to be carried out, is documented for others to review, and is one that can be communicated easily to the citizens of Nassau County and to the Sheriff's Office of Nassau County? And if so, what is it?
My plan is not elaborate, it's real simple. To hold each and every person that I appoint accountable. To hold each and every person that serves accountable for their duties. I don't have to hire outside, I don't have to bring outside. There's great men and women serving Nassau County at this time. They will be held accountable. Thank you.
I'm actually glad you asked that question, because when I decided to enter this race in January, one of the reasons was because there was no laid out plan by any of the candidates. One of the first things I did was launch a website and put on there a 5-point plan. And you asked if it was easily understandable. I couldn't have made it any easier, because I have audio files on there you can click and just listen to. So it's about as simple as it gets. I can tell you briefly what my 5 points are, but I cannot sit here and take the 15, 20 minutes it would to explain each one of them to you. One of the first things I'm going to do is I will reduce spending. I'm the only candidate that has promised my paycheck on that. You will get me as a free sheriff. If I don't reduce spending by my salary, you don't pay me. I'm going to bridge the gap between the other agencies. I've already started to work on that. I will have an office of transparency. I will have more deputies out on the road that's not going to cost you more money. And my 5th one.
You'll have to go to your website.
Yes, please go to my website. I'm sorry. But I did. I launched this immediately. I thought it was important to have a plan and let everybody know what that plan was. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the inmate work labor, to get the inmates out working for the citizens.
Through my travels around Nassau County, meeting people, talking to people, having town hall meetings in different areas of the county, I wanted to learn what was important to our residents. Not what's important to me, but what's important to you. And I think we lose sight of that sometimes. Sometimes we want to push our agenda because we think it's best for our county, but our residents know what's best for our county. And I will start with a top to bottom review by an outside agency. Before we make any changes, we need to know the facts and what's going on, what we need to change, what's best for our department. We'll create a special investigating unit to address the growing problem of prescription and illegal drug use. Prescription drugs is a problem in our society, not only nationwide, not only in Florida, but here in Northeast Florida. Nassau County, when you look at statistics, has one of the largest usage rates from age 12 and up for non-medical purposes for prescription drugs, and that's a problem. And we need to address that problem.
First thing I want to do is start with a restructuring of the command staff to where everyone, starting from the top all the way down to the lowest person that works there, will be working and held accountable for everything they do. They will lead by example, and by doing this, the morale at the sheriff's office will come up, which is actually going to help the community. By helping the community, when they show up to see you, they're not going to be in a bad mood. They'll be excited and ready to help you and answer any questions. They won't try to run from a report, but they will actually write a report for you. And when you leave, it'll be just like leaving a convenience store. You'll be happy and we'll be wanting them to return to help you again. And I do have a further structure, but I don't have enough time to do it.